Hey guys, auction enthusiasts. I got 3 here today. I'm doing these on Tuesday night, 10 at night. I'm doing them in the basement. I should have done them outside, but I still got some more personal photograph ones, but I figured I haven't done a Ritchie's one for a month. So this one's Seattle, mid-80s. And I didn't pick these out. They're not full of logging gear. These are just, I don't call them generic. They're just kind of normal. Too late to have anything to say here. Digger, loader, dozer, truck. That's one of the bigger Michigans. Of course, they did the 475 too, and the 675 called the tractor shovel. There's some good videos on those from Clark, Michigan. Clark, was it back then? And the Terex. That's not a real Terex though. I think they were in the German machine, the Hanomag, and they were rebranded. I think they're called an L series in a Hanomag. Road graders. Big scraper. 641. Those are the coolest rock truck. Those are really, they just got the neat lines. And Cat's biggest offering back then for hydraulic excavators, 45-ton series. And not everybody knows Deere did make more. They weren't just famous for the 690A and then the 690 and the 690, 690A, B, C's, D's, and a E. They wouldn't let go of that. They were having so much fun with it. They made an 890, obviously, and not many people know they made a 990 too. Just a monster. Just a steroided version of the 690. Everything looked the same. From the gull wing design, center engine, to the square lines on the boom, the cab on the other side. And I have sat in and seen 890s back in the day at the old Coast Tractor in Port Coquitlam as a kid. They were just behemoths. American. Old Northwest. I got to be in one of those while it was running runts. I know they got three big air controls with big round knobs like pool balls on them. Got Murphy diesels that run at 11 or 1200 RPM, full scream. They're a neat motor, big compression release on them to get them going. I think that's a Northwest 80. It doesn't say in here what it is, but Dynapack. As we all know, the Ragos come in green. Crushing equipment. Not jam-packed. You didn't see a ton of auctions. Well, I don't know if I saw hardly any ever in Seattle itself, but Olympia's a big spot currently, has been for years. But View Construction. So I refer a lot of stuff to the Highway Through Hell show. View Construction was one of the companies that built the Coquihalla. There was 3 phases to the Coquihalla. The first one was the big phase, the one that you see the show mostly filmed on. And there was company View Construction, Good Brand Construction, Getty's, Emil Anderson. A lot of the big guys did well there. Nice looking gear. swear a D8K will never look out of place in any time or generation future to come. That'll just never look odd or antiquated. Well, neither will that. That 7's real mean looking too. Put big grousers on it. Looks like it's ready to kill. And the 988B. And if you're all my age, y'all watched Ernest Goes to Camp, and the best thing about it was watching Crater Mining, the pretend mining company, come in there with the big 988 like that and crash things down. And the granddaddy back then, the 992. They hadn't come up with 994s yet. Great looking lines on that machine. You don't really see those kind of tires anymore either, but they were pretty common. And in a Ritchie offering here, you hardly ever see that. Little puff of diesel coming out the stack and the machine's still working. That's on the Coquihalla. Nice fleet of small trucks. I don't know if there's a huge market for those anymore or not, because with the Volvo A40s, and I mean, they're hauling such big amounts with the 6x6s, the articulateds, that it's kind of put those things, probably run circles around them. Downhole drill, probably does 6 or 8 inch holes for quarries. There's a good shot at D8 or 9 pushing down to the plant. 769 receiving in smaller pieces after it's been sifted, sorted, crushed, and piled, or conveyored. There's the way to arrive. I know that's for the crew for working on the highway back then, but there's the way to arrive in school with the 4x4 lift kit, the 10 inch or 12 inch lift kitted school bus. And one more, the auction yard I grew up around. So missed a few days of school back in the 80s, getting hauled out with my dad to go down and check these out. Remember in grade 5, my teacher, won't say her name, doesn't matter, she was a bitch. But oops, I shouldn't have said that. But in grade 5, my teacher, we didn't get along. So my dad pulled me out one day to come to the auction, was selling his International TransStar truck in there. And he told her that it was coming out for that, and she wanted to know why, and didn't think that was a viable reason. He just, well, my boy works with me, which I was gonna one day, and says, we're going to the equipment sale. So, that didn't win me any points with her after. Getting hauled out of her classes to go look at diggers and tractors. You don't see a ton of these. There was a bunch around though. little John Deere 350s, wide tracks. They were hard on stuff. They had axle extensions in the back and bearings. Things would wear out on them good. That backhoe didn't help them. They were already too light. The Lee Bear just never had any traction here. Like, seriously none. So, that thing looks like it's on a barge or something. That's pretty cool. That's like 1976. It probably wasn't built as a log loader in 76. It was probably done 5 or 10 years later. Well, not 10. That was probably late set. My guess would be that was probably built in 78 or 9 or 80. A little bit antique-y looking. Has the Pierce grapple because it's so tall with the little hard arms and the single cylinder inside. But anyways, I digress. I like that stuff. But JCB with the power slide. Drill. Wobco grader. Garage cranes. I worked on Vancouver Island in 91. I can't remember where they were, but I remember seeing that name around there. Fiat Alice. And bringing up the rear. Those are a big company that ran out of the Queen Charlotte Islands as Husby Forest Products, and they're still big and they still run out of there. We just got so politically correct that we don't call it the Queen Charlotte Islands anymore. It's got some name that I don't need to say. It's all new and better. But anyways, that's an original Husby logging truck there. And that's a Wednesday. Thanks for viewing.